And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. There remains a great deal of political chaos regarding the nuclear deal we've made with Iran, as players are now switching sides. Just last week, the president of the opposition group United Against Nuclear Iran resigned after deciding that he felt morally obligated to support the deal. In the past week, a list of 30 ex-military generals and admirals wrote a letter of support, as did a number of American Jewish rabbis. But earlier this month, 4 prominent Jewish congressmen, most notably Charles Schumer of New York, came out in opposition to the deal.
I had many meetings with people on both sides. I had 3 classified briefings because the 4 corners of the document don't always tell you exactly what you need to know. And then I came to my conclusion, which is very simply put, that the agreement has such weaknesses that it would be better to go back and try to renegotiate a new one.
Congress still has a month left to first vote if they want to disapprove of the deal, and we are expecting that they'll do just that, and then they will have to vote to override the expected veto that we believe the president would attach to that bill. But the latest news regarding the deal comes from Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who said on his website today that the fate of the deal is unclear. As of now, Khamenei has not officially endorsed the deal, but as we previously reported, he has said that the deal will not stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and he has also promised to block any American influence that may come as a result. Joe, we'll start with you. It's just, it gets crazier and crazier. People who you would expect to oppose the deal support it. People who I might have thought might have supported it oppose it. Khamenei is not exactly making life easier on this side if you want to support the deal. Where's this all going to go?
This is all going to go to Congress, ultimately, and they will have to decide whether this passes or it doesn't. With Schumer's being against the deal, still, from everything that you read, this probably will pass regardless of that happening. Schumer's the highest ranking Jewish member in the entire body, so good for him for coming out and standing by principle. Schumer gets a lot of heat from Republicans normally, but the way he came out against this is impressive. I just wonder if he'll now be included in President Obama's rhetoric as far as people in the streets of Iran chanting death to America, just like Republicans in Congress. Is Chuck Schumer now included in that group?
I don't know, maybe.
About that.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan. For people who are just regular people, and I certainly include myself because I've struggled to A, understand this deal, and B, try and make a decision as to what I think is right, irrespective of the politics. What do you do when people you might turn to give you a sense of what they believe when it's so divided? I look at these ex-generals and these ex-admirals, people who I would expect to have a certain point of view because of their background, and they surprise me. How does the average person decide if they're for this or not?
Well, first off, whenever you get anything that's this divisive, you know that they're playing politics with it.
That's very true.
And so you have to look at the reality of what this is. We were talking about earlier about politics and Donald Trump being in a political arena, so he's got to do some politicking. The reality with this deal is that this is a military deal. This is something that I believe from the get-go was a fake deal. Because Iran's they've got eternity to get what they want. They're eventually going to get what they want, just like in a car factory. If you steal one piece of the car every day, eventually you'll have a car. That's what they're going to do that regardless. So I just think that politicians are using this deal just like a reality TV show where they have to get this done real quick because of the deadline to get ratings, to get people behind it. But the reality is we should have never given the Iranians the position to where they could negotiate with us. We are the world power, and that's why we need a leader that understands when the military needs to be used and when diplomacy needs to be backed up by the military. In this case, it's completely dangerous what they're doing,
Bill,
I think.
One of the things we've been hearing lately as we read articles about this or listen to the media is that even if Congress were to oppose it, and we expect them to oppose it in their first act, and even if they cannot override the president, or if they did override the president's veto, that the president can still go ahead and do this anyhow.
That would be weird. No, that would be upsetting. That would be disastrous, because then that would be the president saying, "I am above the law. You guys overrode my veto. And I can't conceive of that happening. I don't
I'm
like
going to
Obama.
agree with
I
you.
can't conceive.
I'm
of that
actually going
happening.
to agree with you, but I'm going to make one distinction there. I don't think he'd be saying I'm above the law if it's the law
The
that
action
allows him
itself
to
would
do
be-
it anyhow.
No, but the action itself, going
Well, not
against the
above
veto
law.
of Congress. I mean,
well,
would be.
that's
yes.
my problem would be if Congress overrides that veto. Then yeah, I agree. Congress
Right.
is there to represent the people, and if they feel that strongly about it, then the president shouldn't go forward with it in view of that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be that he went above the law if it's the law that allows him to do it in the first place, which I don't really understand why that should be okay. It shouldn't. If Congress
should not be okay.
Congress overrides the veto, that should be it. Let us know what you think about the Iran deal, and let us know if you think it's going to go through. What do you think about Ayatollah Khomeini's comments about getting weapons? Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Let us know what you have to say. And coming up next, we're going to read some of your viewer comments. You don't want to go anywhere. They're very angry at me.